Hello, I'm Bruce Lorincz, and this show is called Bruce on the Loose. I talk to people throughout Wadsworth and Medina County. We talk to the business community, schools, and the city government. Steve Bergman's with us from Sand Run Travel.
Sand Run Travel. Nice to be here, Bruce. I really enjoy being here with you.
I got a confession, Steve. I've taken a class from you for blackjack,
yes, you did.
and it really has helped.
I'm glad.
The number one tip, if you don't do well 4 or 5 hands in a row, maybe sit out one or walk away.
That's and it's a hard thing to do. Even I have trouble with it, but if I listen to my own advice, I'm usually a lot more successful.
You have had an affiliation with Soprema Senior Center for some time,
yes,
and you really want to expand that. What could you offer to some senior citizens?
Well, what we do mostly is we do what we call destination gambling. And we deal mostly with the adult community over 55, and we'll do bus trips, we'll do flights somewhere. We just came back from Vegas, just ran into someone who went to New Orleans with us a couple of years ago, and then we do cruises, mostly adult cruises. And what we're trying to do with at least the senior community, and actually people our age, is to show them that you don't have to sit at home still. There's plenty of life left in us, and let's go enjoy it. And we have some friends who've fallen on some tough times health-wise, and we know that's going to hit at times, and you don't know when it's going to hit. So if there's something you want to do, get a hold of us, or we'll have something planned that you can get out and do something that maybe you've never done before.
I also understand a few years ago you did something with Prescott Isle and did some wine tasting. Is that true?
We still do that. That's some of our favorite trips. They are bus trips, although we're doing hopefully one next year with Gatlinburg where we do a wine tasting in Gatlinburg. But yeah, we like to take buses up and go up to New York or Michigan, Pennsylvania, we're Indiana, and along the way we'll stay at a casino resort. So you can practice your blackjack.
Right, there you
go. And then we'll do either 3 or 7 wineries, depending on the day. The tastings are included, and we bring a lot of wine home. They're really a lot of fun.
No question about it. Now, if someone is their spouse is deceased, nothing's saying they couldn't pair up with someone else and go like a buddy system.
No, we would encourage that. We find mostly it's women that are looking to travel, but that's a little tricky. So what we try to do, if they are looking for buddies, we'll make sure that they meet for coffee, do something before they ever sign up. Also, when you're doing groups, traveling alone isn't that big a deal because you've got local people around, friends that you make on the trip. Whether you're cruising, whether you're flying, whether you're going on a bus, you'll have 10 to 20, maybe 30 people that you can pal around with and watch out for you. So it's not that big a problem if you get your mind set to, I want to go and really enjoy some things.
It's probably enjoyable to you to see things start to open up a little bit. It was probably COVID-19 really hit the country very hard, and especially the entertainment and travel industry.
We were essentially shut down for about 2 years. This year's been really starting to kick back up. Group travel's been a little bit slower. It's coming back than kind of individual travel, but we're starting to see the upticks now, and hopefully things keep improving through the year and through 23. We know the cruise industry is starting to kick up very well, and that's turning into one of our focuses. So we monitor it. We do mostly Carnival and Virgin Voyages. And quite frankly, if you haven't heard of Virgin Voyages, it's an adults only. We have a number of folks who've really started to enjoy those trips with us. And then Carnivals, they're just completely different, but both enjoyable. And they're ways to get to destinations you maybe never thought you'd go to.
The seasons sometimes open up, like Christmas. I remember taking my daughters to Ogilvy Park.
Yes.
Do you ever do any, or 4th of July, do you ever do any trips around holidays?
We don't anymore do the holiday trips. Carolyn Zacta up at Life Center Plus, we have an affiliation with her. She runs a lot of day trips that we don't do. and that's typically the Ogilvy Park and the day trips and all that kind of stuff. Now, as far as 4th of July, we look at that as a family holiday, and we usually do something anymore. That's one of our casino cruises, is that we're orchestrating a group casino cruise during July, but not over July 4th usually.
A lot of senior citizens are on fixed income.
Yeah.
Is the pricing, you try to go ahead and make it affordable for people?
That's been one of our chief objectives, and where we've obviously run into some problems coming out of the pandemic. Things are kicking up, and we're trying to evaluate how we keep all these trips, whether they're bus, whether they're flights, whatever, affordable for the senior citizen to be able to go.
Well, Steve, very, very much good talking to you. I appreciate it, and thanks for the tips for blackjack.
Great.
And one
joy.
other, make sure you're consistent. If you
right.
hit on 15 or 16, do it all the
Do it
time.
all the time. Thank you.
Thanks very much. We're back here with Kelly and Senior Helpers.
Yes.
Tell us about your group and how you assist our senior citizens in Wadsworth and around surrounding communities.
Sure. So Senior Helpers is a non-medical home care company. We assist in the home with a lot of different services. We help with companionship, we help with personal care, ambulation, showering assistance, toileting assistance, errands and transportation, light housekeeping, meal preparation, medication reminders, a lot of things like that folks need at home.
So it seems like mobility is really difficult for some senior citizens. So you really focus on that, and then getting the medication, making sure they're comfortable and having a good time. And a lot of people now stay in their homes, don't they?
Yes, it's all about maintaining quality of life, staying safe at home. A lot of times folks just need as little as 12 hours a week, up to 24/7 care, just to stay safe at home, so they're not changing their living surroundings. We do also assist in independent living and assisted living as well, but a lot of times what we see are folks just want to stay at home and be safe.
What about people just coming back from rehab, having a fall or some medical issue? I would imagine your group steps forward for that.
We do, absolutely. A lot of times people just need temporary help. So if they just need help from a hospital stay, a recent surgery, and they just need help to make sure that they're safe right when they get home. Sometimes they might need help in the middle of the night to make sure they get to the bathroom safely without falling. Most time families just aren't able to help. They're very busy. So we assist them with that and then make sure that they're safe. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, and then they might be okay after that.
What about your caregivers? Who would the typical caregiver be to come in the home and help some of our seniors?
So our typical caregivers are either sometimes they're mothers that just want to work part-time around their kids' school schedules. A lot of younger students that are getting into nursing school. Maybe they're going into the STNA programs or nursing programs. They want to get their feet wet in that sort of medical, non-medical field. We also have a lot of retired folks that just are looking for the way to give back to a senior. Anybody really who's compassionate to take care of folks in the home.
So there's not
a wide mix of
a wide
Yes.
a range of skills
Yes.
and abilities, and they're there to help the people. And I'm sure they're very compassionate folks.
They really are. I think that's what it comes down to, is just making sure that we have somebody that's taking care of our clients in the home that really has a good understanding of what their needs are and being compassionate, just to keep them safe.
What about the outlay of money? A lot of people are on fixed incomes and have difficulty meeting their responsibilities. Does Medicare maybe help with some of this?
So we are non-medical, so Medicare does not cover our services, so we are private pay. However, we do have a lot of folks that have a long-term care insurance, so I would encourage those folks to reach out to their insurance providers to see, because a lot of times they don't realize there is money there that helps them reimburse for our services, but we typically are private pay. Yep.
How long has your organization been in business?
So Senior Helpers has been around since 2001.
Okay.
We've been around the Akron area, Northeast Ohio, since 2008.
So now you're trying to branch out a little bit into the Medina County, Wadsworth area?
We service a lot of folks here in Wadsworth, Medina, Summit County. We our headquarters is in Fair Lawn, West Akron, so we're very close to Wadsworth, so we do have a lot of folks around this area too.
I would imagine the family members would think that it's kind of peace of mind for them to know that someone's looking in after mom, and sometimes the mailman has other things to do and we can't put it on them, or sometimes churches are losing membership and it's hard for sometimes churches, but I think the family would be really relieved.
The families are very relieved. We typically talk to a lot of daughters and sons, and they just unfortunately are still in the working force, and a lot of times they just don't have the time during the day to come out and assist, or even in the middle of the night because they have to get up and work. So it's a tremendous peace of mind for them. We can tag team with them with their schedule as well. If they're able to help, then we just work around that with the caregiver. So it helps out.
So let's recap a minute. I wouldn't have to get your service for the full week. I could do as little as 12 hours, you mentioned?
12 hours a week is just really our minimum, where we can help out for a few days a week for a few hours at a time. We also help people full-time and 24/7 around the clock if they need it.
So an array of services you do, and what are some of the comments from the people you serve?
Oh my gosh, they love it. They fall in love with some of our caregivers. They just welcome them as one of their family. They treat them like their daughters or their sons. We do actually have several male caregivers, which are phenomenal with our male clients. They get along very well. They absolutely love our caregivers.
Okay, how could someone contact your group?
They can give us a call. We have a local phone number. It's 330-835-9672. We are also online, seniorhelpers.com. So they're welcome to give us a call, go online, whatever.
Would they go ahead and have an appointment then and
Yes. Yep,
come to your office? And
they don't have to come to our office at all. They can simply give us a call. We have a lady that would come out, do an assessment, and that's free of charge. We don't charge for that, and we can talk about the level of care that's needed and then just go from there.
Kelly, thank you so much. Senior
You're
care.
welcome. Thank you.
Good for you to be in Wadsworth. A lot of people could possibly use your service.
Absolutely. Thank you much.
Thanks very much. Here, I'm back at the Expo, the Senior Caregiver Expo at Wadsworth High School in the field house with Kelly Tremaine from the Better Business Bureau. Why would the Better Business Bureau be here today?
Good question. Well, we're a business partner of the Soprema Healthcare Center, or the Soprema Senior Center. And we do a lot of outreach in terms of educational support for senior citizens as well for a lot of different groups of people. But the main reason is a lot of the scam prevention. So we do a ton of presentations and try to educate a lot of the seniors because in essence seniors lose more money and are more susceptible to scams than a lot of other parts of the population. So this is a great way to reach them and a great way to support our community partners.
The scammers are getting pretty sophisticated from when they started, and I'm not sure when that was, probably a dozen years ago or so, but they're really getting slick, aren't they?
They are. They're getting better and better. In fact, the average loss went up 70% last year. So we're up to $169 per person, and seniors is almost $400. So we have just recently partnered, which we're relaunching our scam tracker, which is a good timing next week. With partners with Amazon and Capital One. Obviously, those are pretty well-known names, but they also face the problems that they've been, people are impersonating them. So it is a big deal, and we're putting a lot of resources behind it to hopefully help lessen the problem.
And it seems like these pop up, you hear sometimes on the news that someone, again, their granddaughter was caught for drug overdose, or she was in an accident and needs money, or she got into a legal problem. It seems like all these are coming up all of a sudden, especially around the holidays.
Yes, they're very timely. Anything that happens within the economy, scammers figure out a way to capitalize on it, whether it's charity relief for Ukraine, holidays in terms of gift card giveaways, but a lot of that stems from social media too. We put a lot of stuff on social media, and scammers can tell a lot about us on social media, whether we check in, we have friends online, we have a different friend request people. They get a hold of our contacts, so thus they get to know who we are, and then they use that against us. So anything that's happening and any timeliness, they're going to find a way to capitalize on. And I try to help people, just tell them not to engage, how to differentiate, and how to say no, how not to react quickly.
Can once we do know and identify a scammer, could the law enforcement somehow get involved and track that down? It's not easy to track down, is it?
They try. I always tell people the best recourse is education, because very rarely do they catch a lot of these people. They're anonymous behind the screen. A lot of them are federal because they go across state lines or international state lines, so they're difficult to catch, to your point. So the best defense is not to get taken by a scam in the first place. We at the Better Business Bureau do maintain a list of contacts, and we work with people to help direct them to the appropriate law enforcement offices, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's attorneys, whether it's the Federal Trade, FTC. If anyone has a problem, they can always call us. We do have live people to help them navigate through some of those problems.
What would be the volume on a daily basis? People calling in and saying they have an issue, and you could maybe intervene.
It's a good question. I don't have that information because that's not my department. But we do have, I think, 4 people working inside of our office that answer not only our calls, but answer calls for different Better Businesses as well. So we share resources because if we want to make sure people get the help they need, and we're responsive in a timely manner, because usually when they call us, they've already been scammed and they've already got to that point where they need help now. They don't know where to turn.
I see it in the paper every once in a while. A construction firm or another business will have the Better Business Bureau approval or seal of approval. Yep. If we look to those companies, can we be assured that they're going to be up and up and do a good job for me?
Yeah, I mean, when they're members of the Better Business Bureau, which we have about, we have about 2,800 members. In our database, we have 28,000, so it's about 10%. But yeah, they go through a further vetting process, and they have to do certain things and like respond to complaints and stuff. So they're more apt to be trustworthy, and they're the only ones allowed to use that seal. So we do police that. We want to make sure people are doing what they need to be doing.
We started with a positive. Let's go the other way. I have a construction company that's supposed to do a patio work for me, and they get started, and then I don't see them. I call them. They don't respond. What course could I take then after the non-responsiveness?
Well, you want to call us, because then we can track them down. Part of their, if they're accredited, they're part of our organization. They have to respond to us, or we follow. Obviously, other law enforcement agencies are good to call too. But some of the steps before that: don't give a lot of money in deposits. Make sure they're licensed and secure. Make sure that you look at reviews. You do your homework. Make sure we know who they are, so you don't get in those situations. But yeah, we're happy to help where we can.
A lot of common sense suggestions there, just like the scamming. If you're not sure about your niece being in Canada and getting arrested, maybe you should ask more questions or just hang up. Would that be
It is. Communication is the key. We want to take a step back. Most of this happens, urgency, right? They want us to act now. As soon as you get off that call, you're less likely to be taken for a scam because you have process. You have time to think. We don't make good decisions under stress and under pressure. Unfortunately, that's how they want to do it. So yes, we want people to talk to people. Our scam tracker tool is developed and designed. It's over 15 years old, to let people know what scams are where and help people report them, but also help see what's out there. So yeah, if you have that gut feeling, talk to someone about it, because most likely they've experienced something similar.
Kelly, thanks for the tips. I learned some things, and I hope you to talk to a lot of people today. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
We'll be
Appreciate
back for the last segment. Hi, this is the last segment with also Teresa Berry here.
Correct.
And we're talking to Marion's Closet.
Yes.
And I did tell her, I know it's on East Street, and it really helps a lot of people in Wadsworth, especially, I noticed when school started. Boy, those they said that costs have gone so much up for clothes and everything. And how do you obtain all the things that you are selling to people?
Well, first of all, we don't sell. It's a free store.
Wow, oh, that's true.
It's a free store. So people, when they come in, the items that they're purchasing are actually from our community. People donate what we have, and they are very generous. We have in our community that we get free coats, we get clothing that are they're like, well, normally you would just pass down, and they're in good, they're gently used condition. And so that our store is like a continuous buzz of clothing coming in, households coming in, and going right back out. So from the moment people drop stuff off, within, I would say, within the hour, if we're running on speed, it is on our shelves or hung up, ready to go. So, and when you talked about numbers, our numbers are crazy. In the last month, we've had 45 new people join Marion's Closet. Now, when you join, there's a co-op fee, so it's a free store. But for a year, your family can be clothed for only $15. So it's a great deal.
And really the need with COVID-19,
Yes.
we could go on and on about that, but really it's really put a lot of pressure on food sources and clothing and all sorts of utility costs that families have to go through.
Right, it's absolutely true. So, and we also have things like free diapers there, and we have wipes frequently, Tide Pods, toilet paper. It just depends on what's coming in, and we have churches that donate lots of stuff. We have a personal product drive running in one of our neighboring churches. So,
Do the stores with wipes and diapers, do they contribute a little too?
I haven't approached that whole concept. That's my
Okay.
next thing, considering how we can do that.
All right.
Right now, most of our stuff comes through grants or even just donations that people give us, financial ones.
What are the people that are acquiring these things? What is their settlements?
Their settlements, what do you mean, like?
What are their feelings?
Their
what do
feelings.
they do?
Yeah, they are so happy. We had a lady in not too long ago that she was a domestic violence situation, and she came in, really had nothing, needed stuff for her family, and we were able to clothe everyone there, and she was in tears. She said she had no idea that such a thing existed in our community, and she was so blessed, and it felt so good to be able to help. And the volunteers that are helping then also gives them lots of joy too.
I would imagine with rents going up, it really puts extra pressure on the families, and certainly they don't want to go to the stores, and sometimes the quality of the items that you have been donated are probably pretty good.
They're very good. That's amazing. I can't even go there. It's really nice. So generosity of this community is over the top, and we are so grateful because we wouldn't exist if people didn't donate to us. And that's exactly how it works. It goes in and goes right back out into the communities around us.
Could you use more volunteers?
Absolutely.
I guess on both ends, donating and also helping in the store?
Right. We could use more volunteers. We can always use more donations. Right now, the one area I've noticed that we're low is like our children's clothing. Like there's not the littles, but like the elementary age. So that's an area of volunteers. We do need volunteers though, and I'd like to open another day, and that would be able to help more kids, and more families. But we need another day, I think.
When are you open?
We are open now Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We were open at one time on Wednesdays, and I'd like to reopen that. But COVID caused its own problems. Right. So, but looking to expand hours and
the time of the store opening on East Avenue.
East Avenue. So on Thursdays it's 3 to 6 p.m. On Fridays it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Saturdays also 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we have a kind of an evening there, and we have a weekend. So
small parking lot. So get in.
Yes, exactly.
Get your donations and head down the road.
Yes, absolutely.
So you might want to expand to another day. Again, that would certainly use more volunteers.
I need volunteers to do that. So that's why we need volunteers.
Well, thank you so much. I
you.
Enjoyed talking to you, and we will have the Wadsworth community step up again and continue this, especially with the winter coming up.
Yes.
We need coats and warm sweaters and warm items.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have different businesses in town that help us with that. Right now, I know the Masons are doing a coat drive along with Howard Hanna. So big shout out to our community helping us that way. And Salvation Army, they also share their coats with us too. So we all work together.
Did a show yesterday with Ashley, so I'm sure they're happy that that they have that coordination.
Yes, and we love that. That's the way we live.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
We had a great time at the Senior Caregiver Expo today. 89 organizations and vendors here, a lot of them from Wadsworth and Medina County and locally. I hope a lot of people can watch this show and take advantage today. Stay tuned for more good shows.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.